the first to know Nsem-Pii TV.
Paul Adam Ochre and Mr. Ernest Abebio Kumi petitioner or then a petition called Jubilee House to President Mahama say undissolved 5-member Justice Parmine Committee our palm so investigating the removal of the Chief Justice and as a suspended Chief Justice Gertrude Saba Tokono. Now Mr. Kumi eba under the live studios now sana Paul Adomotre ebusa questions on a kwan who Justice Parmine, Justice Yonin Kolendi, Mr. Justice Asiedu, and Thadeus Sory meeting on Mojave. That longevity of the meeting, baby on Mojave meeting. What are the discussions? Or so kind of full petitioner, Mr. Kumi Ediakwakoma President Mahama. Esansu Busade said President Mahama responded to that particular petitioner. What are the next steps? This is an exclusive interview at Yepesi de Bremo. And Sunny Bremo no the lawyer Paul Adomotre, the reading of the full petition ebeba and Sana that exclusive interview with Mr. Abebu. Wasanswa responded to Thadeus Sory reply or the man or the aquaculture on Facebook wall after allegations to say or meeting these judges APM in Nsem-Pii. What is interesting about Thadeus Sory reply is say only the one bo biedin and refer to any form of report. But okase enye no press any meeting because so whether say he or refer to meetings with the judges, whether so refer to airport residential area, whether so refer to the fact so no wo ho and a judges ni ho and as a judges no wo ho and no ni ho one bo biedin. Mr. Kumi say on only petition or bobo unkofodin bobo locations. But Mr. Thadeus Sory ni obonetra or canetra one bo biedin ambo any particular location. Nsem-Pii said there was no meeting. Now, I said there is no meeting. Meeting ben all pass all patch. As a lawyer, no, the no court or better my fan who they say, and yes, I meeting no assembly no about an assembly meeting, no about a municipal meeting. In call a bear man. Nanko onpo ono enes kumidin en kasasa santoku meeting with these 3 judges na mini ho and I said na manko share these 3 judges and I enes say oho and obey display the evidence our gathered so far. You could see that exclusive interview between the petitioner and lawyer Paul Adomotre on the studios of Good Evening Ghana.
Subject matter, in this case, the Lord Chief Justice. When the petition gets to the Council of State, the Council of State must see whether or not the petition is frivolous or whether there's something to answer. If the Council of State comes to the conclusion that there is a case to answer, which the lawyers call in Latin prima facie, then the Council of State, together with the President, will set up a committee. The Constitution proceeds to delimit who and whom can be on the committee. It says that there should be 2 Supreme Court judges on the committee, one of whom is chairing it, and the other. And then there should be another person, and there should be 3 other people who are not members of the Council of State, and who are not members of Parliament, and who are not lawyers, members of the Ghana Bar Association. So in fulfilling the constitutional righteousness, John Dramani Mahama, together with the Council of State, having told Ghanaians that they have already established a prima facie case, then set up a committee of 5 members. Chairman of the committee is Mr. Gabriel Scott Poorman, who is the chairman of the committee, but the Supreme Court judge, a very senior Supreme Court judge, I have to say, and also a member of the PNC. We know Gabriel Poorman would like us to mention that he's a member of the PNC. And then there's also Justice Asiedu, who is on the committee. So the 2 Supreme Court judges fulfilled. Then our own Domelevo, I'm looking to meet with him. You know, we had a lot of fights back in the day when Akufo-Addo was trying to remove him and he said he wouldn't go. And people like us were fighting on the side of Akufo-Addo. And eventually he was removed. But I went to the Supreme Court and we lost. We accepted defeat. But it was too late because he had already passed the retirement age. He was out. So I'm looking for Domelevo so that we can spy a little bit. So Daniel Domelevo is also on the committee. And then there are 2 other people on the committee. Okay. So on the first day of hearing, on the Thursday morning, we've already told you what happened. They wrote a letter to the Chief Justice. They didn't add a venue. Later on, they added a venue in this, you know, I can't say obscure, but in some venue near the Osu Castle. When the sitting opened that morning, the Lord Chief Justice was not present, but her lawyers were present. And as the story goes, the panel told the lawyers that if the subject is not here, we will not hear you. The lawyers were quite bemused because letters had been written to them that they should appear on that day. Some of the letters were addressed to them, so that the panel were aware that they are the lawyers for Gertrude Tokonu. Gertrude Tokonu was not there, and they said that they would not hear the lawyers, and the lawyers should clear off. Go and bring Gertrude Tokonu. If you don't bring Gertrude Tokonu, we are not going to hear you. Get out of here. It was quite hostile, and the lawyers for Gertrude Tokonu were very bemused, and they were quite surprised because regular court practices, the subject is usually not usually, but sometimes not there. Okay, so the matter ended at around midday or 1 o'clock. And then, as the petitioner says, 6:30 p.m., between 6:30 p.m. and 7:30 p.m., there was this dramatic entry into this restaurant at the airport's residential area. Gabriel Scott Poaman was there. Asiedu was there. Who's calling me? I'll call him back. Somebody's calling me. Oh, boss. Okay, I'm on TV. Hey, this matter is getting hot too. All right. So, Gabriel Scott Poaman was there. Asiedu was there. And who's the third person? Justice Kendi, who is not sitting as part of the committee. He's not. He's a very distinguished Supreme Court judge, Justice Kendi, on the left of your screen. Justice Kendi was also there. Now, why is Justice Kendi important in the allegation or the allegation of collusion? Because Justice Yoni Kendi was one of the 3 judges who gave that expert opinion blocking the injunction that had been filed to injunct the committee's work. There was an injunction filed by the Supreme Court to injunct the committee's work on the basis that President Mahama had jumped the step of not giving Justice Tokonu the document. Now, that Supreme Court's decision was a 3-2 decision. 2 of the judges agreed with the applicant who filed the injunction, Mr. Asifo, a member of parliament. That application was argued by the learned Godfrey Dami, the former Attorney General. Now, Justice Kendi ruled on the side that the injunction should not fly. And he was with the 3 and the 2 others. So Justice Kendi, according to the story, was part of this dinner. And then Mr. Thadeus Sory was also part of the dinner. The problem here, the allegation of the problem, that if all these facts are true, then there should be some concern as to why Justice Scott Poaman, who is chairing the committee, and Justice Asiedu, who is the other Supreme Court judge on the committee, are seen together with Thadeus Sory, who is counsel for Daniel Ofori, and which Daniel Ofori has had a major tussle in the court over this EcoBank matter for a long time. And then on most of the Daniel Ofori tussles, Gabriel Scott Poaman has ruled in favor of Daniel Ofori, and Daniel Ofori has perceived Justice Tokonu as a major enemy in his quest to secure $97 million Ghana cedis from EcoBank. Daniel Ofori perceived Tokonu as an opponent to this matter. Tokonu has her reasons for opposing the matter on the basis of law, on the basis of calculation of compound interest, and all of those matters. Justice Tokonu has a firm, clear view on that matter because she came out of the commercial courts and she's well versed in these things. But let's leave that for now. So this is the reason why eyebrows could be raised if it's true that all of these 4 men had met together having dinner on the same night after the committee refused to hear Justice Tokonu. This is the story. Now, the petitioner went to the president and petitioned. And the radio newspapers were carrying the story. And so this morning, on his Facebook page, can you put that? Thank you very much. On his Facebook page, Thadeus Sory wrote this: "It is a monstrous lie. No such meeting took place. It is very easy to fact check that. We know those who get justice through negotiation." I don't understand the second part of Thadeus Sory's thing. He says, we know those who get justice through negotiation. I'm not sure who he means and what he means, but he's a very senior lawyer. So, I mean, I know he knows what he's talking about. But the fundamental thing that Justice Sory says here is that there was no such meeting took place. In Thadeus Sory's comments, we don't know whether he means that he was not at the restaurant, or that he was not at the restaurant that day, or that he was there but the other judges were not there, or that the other judges were there and he was not there, or that he left before the other judges came, or that they came before he left, or that they were all there at the same time, but they just talked about something, or that he was there and he met somebody else and the judges were together somewhere else. We don't know all of those details. So on this note, let me go to the petition and let's see what the petition says before we go to speak to the petitioner at 25 minutes past 11 o'clock. Let's get the petition now. So the petition is P.O. Box 622, Adenta, Accra, 19th May 2025. His Excellency John Dramani Mahama, President of the Republic of Ghana, Jubilee House, Accra, comma, Your Excellency, comma, petition for the dissolution of committee formed under Article 146 of the Constitution to inquire into the petition against the Chief Justice as follows. Is by Mr. Kumi. Respectfully, comma, I'm a citizen of Ghana and one with keen interest in the protection of the Constitution, particularly all steps taken by the President in furtherance of his duty to execute and maintain the Constitution and the laws of Ghana pursuant to Article 58(1) of the Constitution of Ghana. On 22nd April 2025, the spokesperson to the President informed the nation of the composition of a 5-member committee under Article 146 of the Constitution to inquire into 3 petitions for the removal of the Chief Justice, Her Ladyship, Justice Gertrude Araba Isaba Tokonu. The members of the committee were stated as Justice Gabriel Scott Poaman, Supreme Court Judge, Justice Samuel Adibu Asiedu, Supreme Court Judge, Daniel Yao Lobdomlevo, former Auditor General, Major Florence Bazwanura Dalugu, member of the Ghana Armed Forces, Professor James Sefa Jifa, Professor, University of Ghana. That's the 5. The spokesperson to the President followed up with another press release on 14th of May 2025, in which he indicated that the committee will hold its first sitting on Thursday, 15th May 2025. Respectfully, comma, I deem it my duty to bring to your attention the conduct of some of the members of the committee set up by your good self, which clearly has compromised their fairness and has brought the committee into disrepute. In the evening of 15th of May 2025, between 7:30 and 8:30 p.m., Justices Gabriel Poaman and Samuel Kwame Adibu Asiedu, together with Justice Yoni Kulendi of the Supreme Court of Ghana, were seen having dinner with the counsel for one of the petitioners before the committee, Mr. Thadeus Sory, at the Santoku restaurant located at Villaggio Airport Residential Area, Accra. The strange meeting of the 4 persons who are keenly interested in and have played and indeed continue to play critical roles initiated in the processes for the removal of the Chief Justice excited the curiosity of some persons in the restaurant. Indeed, they were overheard discussing matters relating to the petition. Respectfully, comma, the record of the presence of the 4 justices, Poaman, Kulendi, Asiedu, and lawyer Thadeus Sory at the restaurant and the meeting they had can easily be verified and confirmed. I like that. The above development is of grave worry, as proceedings for the removal of the Chief Justice of the Republic of Ghana is very solemn and serious process and should not lend itself to manipulation by any person or authority. The meeting between Justice Poaman, Kulendi, and Asiedu with Thadeus Sory clearly has destroyed the integrity of the process and reduces public confidence in the process so far. Both Justices Asiedu and Poaman are members of the panel set up to inquire into the petition. They have no business meeting counsel for one of the petitioners outside working hours at the unofficial place, a restaurant, and to have a discussion. This is more serious when the record shows that Justice Poaman gave judgments in favor of the same petitioner, Daniel Ofori, represented by the same counsel, Thadeus Sory, in Supreme Court. Justice Tokonu, the record shows, rather gave opinions against the said Daniel Ofori in one of the cases. Further, Justice Poaman is known to be interested in becoming the Chief Justice following your election as President of the Republic. That's interesting. The petitioner is telling the President that, Mr. President, but you know that Justice Poaman, since you became President, he wants to be Chief Justice, you know. But that's really what he's saying. But Mr. President, why? You don't know. You know that Poaman wants to be CJ, you know, because you were elected, you know that already. All right. Justice Yoni Kulendi is widely known to have been a close rival of Justice Tokonu for the position of Chief Justice when same became vacant after the exit of Justice Kwesi Eni-Yeboah. He, Kulendi, lobbied vigorously for the position but was disappointed by President Akufo-Addo. It is therefore not surprising that he voted with alacrity against the plaintiff Vincent Eko Assefuah to dismiss an injunction application filed by him to restrain the taking of further steps under Article 146 until the suit filed by him to challenge the process is determined. Clearly, he has an interest in seeing the exit of Justice Tokonu as Chief Justice. He is known to be interested in being appointed Chief Justice. Justice Samuel Kwame Adibu-Asedo is also on record to have been one of those who actively lobbied to be Chief Justice after the exit of Justice Eni Yeboah. He was also, however, disappointed by President Akufo-Addo on account of being far junior in the Supreme Court at that time. He thus has a personal interest in the removal process underway. Respectfully, in view of the matters set out above, the membership of Justice Poaman and Asiedo of the committee set up by your good self is an affront to justice. The meeting they had with Thadeus Sory at Santoku restaurant on Thursday, 15th May 2025 clearly brings the administration of justice in the three petitions into disrepute and compromises their ability to efficiently discharge their duties to the Republic under Article 146 of the Constitution. Their conduct is deplorable and most unbecoming of justices occupying the highest court of Ghana. It has therefore the tendency to show that the whole process, quite unfortunately, is a sham. In the interest of preserving the integrity of the process, I hereby petition you for an immediate dissolution of the committee, as its ability to dispense justice is clearly compromised. Thank you. Yours faithfully, Alfred Abebio Kumi.
Senior, good evening to your cherished viewers, and thank you for the opportunity to be on this great platform. I don't believe he was responding to my petition.
He wasn't responding to your petition?
I don't think so. When I wrote my petition, I was bold enough to mention the names of the people I felt had done something that I believe was unconstitutional. So if you think you have something to say about the petition, you write my name in whatever allegations you want to make. But my question is, Senior Paul, what is it that they are afraid of?
Who is afraid of?
That they are denying.
He says there was no meeting.
So when you say there was no meeting, the question is, are you saying that you were not in the location at the set time?
But if it's only him, whether others... So you're asking Thadeus Sory to answer the question, yes, whether he was in the restaurant.
Was he in the restaurant between 7:30 to 8:30? That's the first question he needs to answer.
If he answers the question, yes, I was there, then what happens?
Okay, then he needs to answer that. Was he there with someone else before he moved to join the judges?
The judges were there. The judges have not spoken. They have not spoken.
Yeah,
he said there was no meeting.
He said the evidence that we have shows that he was there with someone before he moved to the other side of the restaurant. If you've been to that particular restaurant in question, you know how the place is. You have the right side and the left side. He was at the left side and moved to join the judges at the right side. And they were there for a long time. And you see, there's something about Ghana. There's a saying that everybody knows somebody. So don't think sometimes there are things that you are doing it in privacy. And there are people that, because of a certain little procedure that someone is going through, they want to pay attention to the very people that are involved. So how do we justify that there's really integrity in the process when there are two judges who are supposed to be part of a committee set by the president according to or with the powers of Article 146, Clause 6, and also a petitioner? Then you go back to the Code of Conduct of Judges. Which part are you looking at? Rule 1 of the Code of Conduct. You come to Principle 7. What are we looking at? Ex parte communication. What does it say? That it is prohibited, Senior, it is prohibited that any judge will sit down when there's an impending matter before you. I mean, judges meet people every day. But it is prohibited when you, as a judge, there's a matter before you and you meet one of the parties without the other party or without an officer of the law. So this is a serious matter. Someone will ask, what's your whole objective for sending this petition? For me, It's about integrity and fairness. I have a legal advisor called Lawyer Kosibuchi, and he tells me that this whole removal of the Chief Justice is novel. Lawyers is becoming like a new study, and so the process must be fair, and the integrity of the process should not come into any disrepute. Then, if it does that, what happens is that the very organ of government that we know that they can offer partiality when there's an issue, you are killing that partiality. That's why
impartiality.
Impartiality. You are bringing partiality to the court, and nobody wants partiality in the courts. So that's why this thing is a very serious matter. And you know what's more interesting? If they are doing this to their own colleague, how much more me? If judges are doing this to their own colleague, Chief Justice, how much more me? So it's a serious matter for me, and we shouldn't play with it at all. And I'm pleading with the president. The reason why I don't want to go into the details of this matter is because I want to give the president the benefit of doubt and also the benefit of time. That I know, as Ghanaians are now saying that he's a listening president, will look at this very well and tell us that the whole committee which he constituted with the powers of Article 146 will be dissolved.
That's what you're asking.
That's what I'm asking.
For a new 5 to be set up.
Yes, for a new 5. Because if they breach their own code of conduct, how are they able to be on the committee?
So you're expecting a response from the president?
Yes, of course.
I see. That's interesting. What food do they eat?
Oh, senior, I don't want to go into. As for that, it's someone's private matter. But the issue on board is that when you go to the code of conduct for the judiciary or for the bench, they call it a code of conduct for judges and magistrates. When you go to chapter 1 or rule 1, principle 7, talks about ex-party communication.
That's what my producer is putting on the screen. We've seen that, yes.
Yes.
Okay, so you are relying on that.
Yes, I'm relying on that. See, it is unfair. If you read it very well, it talks about the fact that you've actually created a situation where you will be partial against someone. You cannot meet one party and not invite the other party. If you have to do so, the code of conduct tells you that you have to let there be a law or a regulation. And in the best practice, what you do is you bring an officer of the court who will be there as an independent witness. Is that what we saw? And why deny this? There's no problem with
Sory says there was no meeting. That's what he says so far. He hasn't told us yet that whether he was there or he wasn't there. He said there was no meeting.
Was he there?
I'm guessing he may have been there, because if he wasn't there, he would have said that I wasn't there. But he said that there was no meeting, so it suggests that he was there.
I'm praying,
but I don't know.
I'm praying to the justices to be able to write something on it that they were not there, that the meeting never went on. Then those evidence that is in play, the records that we'll have, will come to bear. If that's the tangent some of them want us to go, then that will come to bear. And I'm ready to send the records to the president when he asks of it. You know, we are talking about the highest level of our judiciary. And these are places that you don't want to play with it. There are matters that they are so serious that you cannot even trivialize it. You cannot at all.
I get some text messages. I don't know what questions to ask further, but if you're getting some text messages, let's hear it. Kobe, they say you first. What are people asking?
All right, so Akwesi Amako Jimfi says, Paul, in my opinion, I think that to curb the whole situation, the powers of the president must be reduced, especially when it comes to the appointment of the CJ, CDS, and IGP. I think these institutions must have boards that will vet and appoint a suitable candidate who will work for the people of Ghana and not for a political party. Now, Alhaj CD says, Assalamu alaikum, Paul. I wish you this isn't in regards to this, but I wish you add chronic doomsor as the national security threat, because we are currently in deep doomsor. We barely enjoy light anytime it rains. Someone should tell GM that he should fix the lights and stop the lamentation. And finally, Rabiu lecturer says, Apostle Paul, the next Chief Justice ought to prepare both assumption of duty and resignation letters, to assume the new duty under the current administration, and to resign immediately upon the next NPP election victory. I doubt the survivability of such a Chief Justice after the NPP takes power. This will be the new standard procedure and cannot be impeded. What do you have for us, Fatih?
All right, thank you. Nana says, we don't need this fake government, NDC, and their democratic rules. Beside, we are calling on military leaders to wake up for a coup to